What was the name of that gang you were jumped into, Corey? Oh, hey, we're live. Hey, what's up, everybody?
It is
Posse.
What's up, everybody?
June 5th. We got Slouchy Adam.
Yeah.
What's up, Adam? Host of People at Packaging Podcast. What's up, buddy?
You know, it just felt like a slouchy Thursday.
Perfect. And we got Corey Connors, a.k.a.
Corlito.
Good
morning, everybody.
Host of Sustainable Packaging Podcast. What's up, man? You got me, Avelio Matos, host of Packaging Unboxed. And man, all right, it's Thursday. We're trying to get hyped. We're trying to get pumped. Yesterday we did second game of Can We Solve It? Nobody solved it.
Nobody won. Solve it.
And
nobody won.
That's right. So if you got questions about packaging that you want to challenge us and possibly win a shirt, hey, look, it's my favorite Sharpie.
Brought to you by Sharpie.
That's right.
The new heavy metal version.
Yeah. Throw some questions out to us on Wednesday. Save them for Wednesday. Throw them out on Wednesday. We'll pick one, and then if we can't answer it, you win a shirt. And we'll keep pushing this, man, until somebody finally submits a question.
Gonna win us out, man. We just have to send out some shirts, you know. Like I make shirts. Hey, can I talk a little bit?
All right. The other thing we're doing is we're doing viewer pack review, which is where we take
PPR.
Yes, packaging from people.
PPR.
You submit it, and we review it, and we'll give you our feedback, ways to improve it, what we think. Yeah. So whether you're a student, you're a brand designer,
send us your stuff.
Can someone comment? Do you like the name Viewer Packaging Review or Show Us Your Packaging?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, this is a tough call.
Package.
Show us your package.
Difficult decision to make.
Yeah,
it is. Hey, see this? This is how you reuse.
Oh, well, you know what? I have this, which is infinitely reusable. So how does that feel?
Yeah, but you bought that for water. Meh. This.
What about this?
This is a.
Reuse is the way.
All right, man. So what are we talking about today? We got a couple things. Yeah, you've got one of the shirts. It's awesome. It is pretty awesome.
It is. You could also buy this one with the label copy position unwind chart on the back. Sometimes you need to unwind. That's a real deep cut, you guys.
Yeah, if you're into stickers, definitely check that out. All right, man. What are we talking about today? We've got this new thing that popped up.
Let's go live.
Oh,
yeah,
we're live. Sorry,
let's do that. No, man. What's this?
Am I slouching during the intro?
It is Texas Senate Bill 25, which is known as Make Texas Healthy Again.
This is embarrassing. That I was
not fit for human consumption. I couldn't believe that. Wow,
insane. So if you've got any one of these ingredients in your packaging, in your food. You've got to you would potentially have to update your packaging.
Only for Texas, though.
Only for Texas. So,
which is a problem.
But they probably know that you're not going to have multiple runs of the same product with different packaging. So they want to,
yeah, but Texas isn't a very big state, so maybe they just won't sell into Texas.
I've heard that it's small.
Everything's smaller in Texas, is what I've heard.
That's what. Yeah, I've seen that bumper sticker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that bumper label. So here's the thing.
Not me checking if bumperlabels.com isn't
available.
We need to make some bumper labels out of our logo.
My list of URLs that I own that I'll never do anything with.
Yeah, same.
It's like cheap real estate.
Yeah, you can't help but buy it. All right, so with this Senate Bill 25, Make Texas Healthy Again, MTHA, Metha. It's a good one. Meth.
That could be a miss there.
Yeah. Meth.
All right, so like
everyone's full of energy there.
Yeah, so just like you said with packaging, if they change it for Texas, you're not going to change your packaging just for Texas.
Yeah.
So realistically, what would
A
happen
logistics nightmare.
would be stickers,
Yeah, probably.
right?
Yeah, labels on a flexible bag would be really expensive to apply. I'm sure. I don't know of a machine that does that. Maybe there is one, but you would have to do it.
But if you've been to Mexico, like they've got requirements on calorie, grease, like all the information of like how much stuff is in there. And if you go to like down the cereal aisle, a lot of those boxes of cereal actually have labels over the front, or they're not allowed to have like cartoon characters promoting the cereal. So there's actually a label covering the faces of these characters.
The problem with bags, though, is it's printed on a roll, and then it's filled in a vertical filler machine. And so you couldn't really label those until after they were filled. Right?
Actually.
Or you could do a digital print, maybe.
But even like these boxes of cereal.
Actually, you guys, you can
manually label.
You can actually label them. I did a project for this one time in my life where we put a automatic label applicator on we were putting multiply labels onto the film while it was on the web prior to it going through and being constructed into a stand-up pouch at a very rapid speed. So you could actually over label in line.
Jeez.
It would be extremely tedious and expensive and disruptive to the filling line.
Yeah.
Maybe you could pivot into digital, but that would be way more expensive and slow. And there's not enough digital printers out there to hit the demand for Texas. So
yeah, you're right.
Imagine like Keurig, Dr. Pepper, and Frito-Lay, Pepsi, Frito-Lay. Like these are companies that are based in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, do they pass this law and then these companies just say, all right, we're out of here? And
great point.
They just leave and take the hundreds of thousands of jobs with. I don't have any idea, but this seems a bit aggressive. Not fit for human consumption is like, it's a lot. By the way, bumperlabels.com is available on GoDaddy.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's a premium domain though. Estimated value of $1,287. So I only need to sell how many t-shirts on packagingfashion.com in order to buy Bumper Labels. Help me buy bumperlabels.com and buy a t-shirt. That's what I'm trying to say. Packagingfashion.com. Packagingfashion.
But
brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Hugh Curtis. All right, so Hugh Curtis he's in the syrup business, right? He's in maple syrup business.
He's the Don Juan of syrups.
The king.
Maple syrup king of Raleigh, North Carolina, as everybody knows.
That's what it is. This wouldn't affect Hugh. Hugh does bottles, but if it did, like what would be the approach on bottles? I guess the same thing. You'd have to change out. You'd swap out that label. That might be easier then.
Yeah, actually, that would be an easier process. You just need to have a different SKU, and keep in mind maybe he has 7 different flavors. So then all of a sudden he has 14 labels because of the multiple flavors.
Yeah, and then that becomes an issue like when you talk about inventory, because right now if you've got the same packaging for the entire country, if you're running out in one area, you can move from a different area, right? But if you've got specific labeling for Texas and they're running low on something, you can't just bring it in from a neighboring state. You got to actually then run that specific label.
Well, so 2 things. Number one, it's still annoying regardless to have to only have a separate SKU for a label SKU for Texas, because then you have to have a separate inventory section only to ship stuff to Texas. It's no matter how you slice it, it's going to be really tough. Second thing is Hughs SKUs or HughsSKUs.com is available. HUWSKUS.com is available, Hugh. So you're welcome. That's my gift to you.
No charge.
Hughs SKUs.
Yeah, 100%.
Hughs SKUs.
100%. But all right. So then if you're in the label business, do you want this to happen?
Yes, that was why I voted for a law in Colorado once that got horribly defeated because it was going to require everything to be labeled as GMO or non-GMO in the state of Colorado. Colorado was going to pass it, and I was like, well, selfishly, at the time I was working for WS Packaging Group, and I'm like, people just have to buy more labels, I guess. So yes, and but it just makes things more expensive in the state. Like everything. The cost of everything will go up. Everything that's labeled with whatever this product is going to go up. And maybe that's their point because they don't want you to use whatever the stuff is and ship it into Texas. And they're trying to drive change. I understand why they're doing it.
Do you, though?
I do.
Why are they doing it?
Well, I will keep my political hat off, but I think part of it is to score political points and force people to make a vote on something that they have to put their name on, and then they can be like, see, my opponent thinks that we should have more red dye, or whatever it is. I think that's a lot of it's just posturing. But there is a sense in which like EPR is trying to create legislation to drive change in the industry.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna think through this from an altruistic perspective and think like, well, if you believe like this stuff is really bad and we don't want it in our state, and so we want to put a really harsh label on it so that we don't have more of the stuff in our state. That's where the principle is. I think the execution is flawed, though. I don't like it.
But will it become like Prop 65, where everything is labeled Prop 65 and people just don't even know what it means anymore? It's irrelevant.
Well, I understood the Props 1 through 64, but Prop 65, it just didn't make any sense.
I agree. 63 was my favorite.
Yeah. You know what? When I was testing for preparation C, that was a little rough. But once they got to H, I was like, this is going to work, guys.
This is going
There's a long process, though, to get through A through G.
Yeah.
It's
but
true.
Like even if you go to Disneyland and you walk around Disneyland, every building, every product is labeled may cause cancer, right? Like that's, and it's like what do you like? You walk past, Mickey's house or whatever, and there's like a little sign that says, materials in this building contain blah blah blah. That
peeing on the side of this building could cause cancer. You're like, oh,
right? Holy shit! I just paid $400 to get into this place. Now
to get cancer.
We're all dying. Yeah.
Pardon my French.
What did you say? Disney? Le Disney.
Le Disney.
All right. So prop. Let's kind of run down this list here. So the bill is obviously this Bill 25 is super pumped for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as part of his Make America Healthy Again. Although it does have some opposition from a couple food companies, the ones you mentioned: Pepsi, Mondelez, Coke, Conagra. Walmart.
Weird that they don't want it, right?
Yeah, they don't want us to be healthy. That's what they're saying. Obviously.
That's the case.
Yeah, it'll create some confusion.
People love their Doritos.
When you see your food saying it's not fit for human consumption, it's a little confusing. And then, of course, increased cost, because now you've got relabeling, you've got all this information that has to happen, or they've got to change ingredients, which that is kind of the goal, but that drives up cost. And some of the ingredients in here, it's like if it contained red 40, yellow 6, bleached flour, different preservatives, BHA, BHT, even though those are legal in the US, those are not, they've been banned across like Australia, Canada, UK, EU. So the brands are already making products that go into those markets that don't have these ingredients. And it kind of goes back to that. I don't know if you ever saw that viral clip where the guy showing like, here's what Fruit Loops look like in Canada, and they're kind of pale and pasty like Adam, and then they're like, here's the ones in the US, they're colorful and beautiful like Corey and I.
Yeah.
That's because of
it's the camera. Okay, it's just my freaking. Let's talk about the camera for a second.
This is a great analogy. So for those listening, just to recap, Fruit Loops in Canada look more like Adam, which is like kind of dull,
delicious, and healthy
without color.
Yeah, very healthy for you. Like you've been working out. Like you don't see the sun very often
because you work so hard.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I just
in the label mines of Utah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, Yeah. So that's
Bumper
so that's
labels.
that, man. But I guess if these brands are already making products without these ingredients for other countries, why can't they just switch it over to in the US?
They should. That would be great. I'm fully for that.
But
Like,
why
would
don't
you-
they? Is because why don't they do that? I don't know why they don't. It seems like it makes more sense, but it seems like everything that does do that then costs like 2 times more dollar bills.
For the same reason, every time Tropicana changes anything with their packaging, they lose millions of dollars because people don't like change. People are scared of anything different. You know, oh, this isn't the bottle I'm used to. This isn't the color of this I'm used to. What's wrong with this? This must be a problem. No, it's actually more healthy for you. You know?
Yeah, if you were to pour out your Fruit Loops and they're all pasty and pale, like Adam,
Like me.
you would probably
Fruit Loops look like me.
you would probably in the
Just
US
laying there in the
honestly.
cereal. Hi. Return that immediately, please.
No, you would probably think they're like old. You know, they're stale. Like there's something wrong with them because you're so used to like that. I mean, the color on the green is like this. It's like super, super vibrant, like neon, you know, colors that you're eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I don't like being compared to a Fruit Loop. That's like Frosted Flakes.
Maybe.
You know? Maybe.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, you look like a Frosted Flake, like kind of pale, yeah, dingy, and bumpy.
Wait, what if we created? Wait, hold on. What if we created
Packaging today's cereal?
A knockoff, yeah, called Frosted Franks. But it was hot dog flavor.
All right, man. This show is off the rails.
We've lost it. Our apologies to everyone listening.
But you know what? Let me show you. I didn't want to show you this.
Great,
so if anybody's stuck around the last forever, maybe
Frosted Franks.
Yeah, maybe you'll get.
Oh, now I'm not hungry for breakfast. Frosted Franks.
All right, I'm gonna like 2 minutes. I want to show you this. All right, so I'm gonna show you how the sausage is made. Sausage.
Sausage Doritos.
This so ChatGPT, it's like my buddy. Chad and I go back pretty far.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, I saw this article on SB25 and kind of the labeling it's going to be doing, the fact that it has not recommended for human consumption. It would be required to be on there. So the first thing I thought of was like, all right, Doritos. So like just kind of going through like the process of building this show, this show out today, not accounting for the pale and derailment. I did start with labels, right? And this is kind of the idea of what would happen. Like labels as basic as possible would probably just be added to these packs like this. Chat GPT put that together, which is pretty cool. And I'm like, all right, Gatorade's another brand. I wanted to do more of like an icon, like the ones that you have in Mexico, like the hazard signs that tell you the calories and excessive grease and all that other stuff. But I didn't put label, but it went ahead and did an icon anyway. You can kind of see this if you're watching this on the YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify, go check it out.
Yeah, thank you for listening, by the way. We really appreciate all of our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you should comment and watch us live like you, Chris.
That's right. But yeah, you can kind of see like the progress here. And then I just took some information, all right, explaining to it, like, here's what we're covering. Here's what the new law says. And then have it come back and kick out an idea of the description. I really like this title of the Texas versus Twinkies. So it changed like the Doritos and
oh my.
Yeah, like it changed the Doritos and the Gatorade direction. And Twinkies has an icon. So I'm like, all right, make me the Twinkies mascot holding a sign. And you can see like how quickly this like evolves into this is pretty damn good graphics in a matter of like 2 minutes, like before we even jumped on here to put this thing together.
It's incredible.
So, like, that's how I'm using it. And then of course, like over the, if you're on the YouTube, you'll see the the thumbnail for this, but like over this box, you can, we've put in like banned in Texas because that's kind of the idea. So I wanted to have some information on what to do, and then I needed some tags for YouTube. But that's kind of the way that, like, as people think or ask, how are you using AI in your everyday? Like, this is really how I'm using it.
To make Twinkie boxes.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chris.
Anything. It's like, how do you do it, right?
I think,
what's Chris asking here?
I think it's a really good point that she's saying. I wonder if the consumer will even care. I mean, when I was in Europe, I noticed the cigarette smokers, their packs had really disgusting photos on them of what happens to you if you smoke. I don't think that it really deters people. I don't know.
No. And Howard Kaufman's asking, he's also kind of surprised people aren't using more QR codes on their product labels yet, but you've kind of talked about that, Adam, right?
No.
Oh my God, you're a jerk.
I've never talked about that before. Yes, I do think that they should put more QR codes in. I would be surprised if this actually passes.
Yeah, me too.
I do, I'm normally such a pessimist here, so I'll kind of lean into my pessimism, my cold, pale pessimism. But
you're like the Malfoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Slytherin analysis.
Yeah. Which one of us is Harry Potter? Is that Abelio?
You got glasses.
Obviously. Well, Harry grew up there at Hogwarts. Or no, I mean Abelio did. So but I do think this is probably just a whole lot of like political posturing, and it was never going to pass. And then you're just going to see ads. It's like, my opponent thinks that your kids should die. Vote for me. Like, sometimes I just think, like, is that really what's happening here? But they've all made like deals behind the scenes. I watch too many shows about politics. They probably aren't all true. But
yeah, I wouldn't see labels. I wouldn't see QR codes as labels on packaging, though. I don't trust QR codes that are stickers that are stuck on anything, because like people just, those are so easy to hijack.
Yeah.
Yes. Good point. Can be dangerous.
Yeah,
for sure. But these could also be, it could also backfire. Kind of like in the 90s, there was it like death cigarettes? Right. Where you kind of lean into, I'm the bad boy eating the not for human consumption Doritos, right? And
right.
Cool kid.
I could see people making T-shirts that say that, not for human consumption, stuff
available
like
at packagingfashion.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be undergarments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's it. Unless we got any other questions, comments. Either way, we'll be checking throughout the day.
Hey, do me a favor and go to bumperlabels.net. bumperlabels.net and just check it out. I think you'll be pretty pleased.
Surprised.
Yeah, .com wouldn't let me buy it, but bumperlabels.net should be pretty fun.
My favorite website.
That's a great website.
I'm waiting for it to load. See what you did. Launching soon. Contact Adam Peak.
No. It should do something else.
No, that's not what it do now. It do launching soon.
Let's see. What does it say? What is it? It's supposed to do. No, it's gonna work.
It ties into your camera and it makes you look really, really colorful. Yeah.
Bumperlabels.net.
Yeah.
This is all of the.
Thanks, Joe. All right, guys, we're wrapping this up.
Oh, it's working. Everyone go check out bumperlabels.net. It's finally working.
It is not working.
It's totally working. Everyone go do it. And then hit smash that follow button when you get there.
Smash it.
Yeah, not working. It still says contact us.
It does not anymore. I just tried it on my end. No, do it again.
I did, dude. I've been refreshing.
No. You have
to hit enhance.
You have to eat your cookies, bro.
Enhance.
I'm out of here. I'll see you guys.
Hey, bye.
It was actually the worst show ever, but yeah.